we are going to replicate this pavilion here and try to be as precise as possible and match it completely. Okay, so we'll start with taking two random curves for this edge and for this edge here, one on this edge and one on this edge. Okay, so let's go to top view and let's first set a parameter of taking the maximum of maybe 10 meters by 25 meters. This is huge, so let's scale it down to 20 meters. Okay, this should be fine. Let's move it to 0,0, that is the origin point. Scale this down also. Okay. Yes. What is happening is this edge is connected to the opposite side of the other curve. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, I will switch off the ortho mode. Okay, press enter. This is one of the curves. The other curve should start somewhere here. Okay, it should end somewhere here. Okay, maybe we will refine the curve later on. Not sure. Let's hope this is how. Maybe. Just squeeze in a bit. Here. Okay, and then we would have to plot another set of points curve in z direction, which is here. Okay, so maybe let's first tweak a curve. I just need one curve in the middle. You have to tweak it. Okay, so our base curves are ready. Now we will move to grasshopper. Turn on grasshopper. So here in this image you can see there are some solid points, some are just support points. Solid also they have tried to split it into 2-3 typologies. So we will try to replicate it as near as possible. Okay, so first initially let me turn on the bifocals so you know which components I'm using. Okay, now I will start with importing curves. So let's take curve 3 times. Okay, and what we will do is in the first one we will set this curve. The second one we will set this curve, and the third one we will set this one. Okay. And this curve is just flip. This one. Okay. Maybe just not sure of it, but yeah, let's just give it a try. Okay, the third one is this one. Okay, so all now our curves are in place. We'll try to make a set of points on our middle curve. Using the white component, the white curve component, we've divided into 10 equal parts. By default it is 10. Okay, let's move these points in that direction. Let's use a graph mapper to do so, and in the graph mapper we'll select sine curve. Okay, it is giving us an error because it does not have how many times we need, so we need to create a range. Okay, and number of steps should be 10. It is correct. So as you enter the range, so there will be red line seen on your graph mapper indicating which point is moving at which corner, so the dimensions have to go like that. The intersection is basically the height of the dimension, the height of the point. Okay, we will have to map this using remap numbers. Okay, all the values. So the graph mapper is directly connected to the value of the remap. Source, since it is 0 to 1, source also goes from 0 to 1. In the target, we will set it to, okay, we will create a construct domain. This one, okay, to the target. Now what we need is we have to set it to highest lowest number of what height we want. So let's say 2.5 meters to the highest of maybe 5 meters, 6 meters. Okay. So now I'll just show you using a panel of what is happening here. So when I connected the panel directly to the graph mapper, you can see the lowest value is 0 and the highest value is 1, and all the numbers are ranging in between them. Now when the remap numbers are, lowest number is 2.5 meters and highest is 6 meters, and equivalently they have multiplied and proportionally they have got in place. Okay, now we will connect these mapped values to z-axis. As you can see, there's something similar. Maybe we can tweak it a bit. Yeah, this is what we need. Okay. So since all our other land points should be on the ground level, so we will just use the curve component, or rather I will just use an interpolate curve. Okay, so now I get a new curve which is in 3D. I will hide the other things. Hide the initial curve as well. Now we have three lines. One is our modified curve and the initial curve. Okay, now we will merge them into one single component using merge. Let's get all of them together. Okay, just use a relay. Use a relay here so that everything is easy to understand. Okay, now in the merge component, now we have all the three. Let's just check. Okay, what is happening is two of our values are gone into one. I just flatten this out. Okay, this is not what we want. Okay, what if I do a flatten here, all the three? Okay, yes, this is what we wanted. Now it's in proper order. Okay, now we will use loft. So I think the curve has not matched properly. Just realign the curve once again. So let's do that again. Okay, so curve 1, set one curve, we'll do this. Curve 2, set one curve, and this. Curve 1, set one curve, and do this. Okay, I think we need to flip it here in the Rhino. So I'll select the curve in Rhino, I'll say flip, and yes, I guess that's what it does. Going to modify a few things here in Rhino itself. So I'm modifying my curve, initial curve. Okay, let's take it a bit higher. Okay. Something similar to what we actually need. Modify the graph mapper as well. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That is something similar. Okay. If we want more things, so want to tweak more things, and we can. There's another way to do that, but I think I will go with this. Okay. Now what we need is we can just do a provide domain square. Okay, and do an isotron. Okay, what isotron does is it will create subdivisions on this block. Something to this order. Okay. What we actually want is we need strips. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, 10 strips. we can just skip this part. Okay, let's just go to a Lunch Box plugin. Okay, and in the Lunch Box plugin there is staggered quad panels. Okay, let's just say that, take that, okay, connect our surface, and we just adjust the divisions. Okay, that should be a random one as well, random quad panels. I think we need to take this. Okay, let's connect them back to the surface. Okay, let's adjust the divisions of 3 divisions, and I think it's going in another direction. We need it in the inverse direction, so we need to swap with U and B. Okay, I think there's a component in Pufferfish. Okay, maybe let's just try this. Yes. Okay, so this is a component that you can find in Pufferfish plugin, okay, which is swap surface directions, and then we can just have this. I will just try everything else here. Okay, so what we are going to do is, so U direction we need 100, and B direction maybe we can just keep it to 150 or so. And then since we want to randomize it, I will just add a random seed of maybe 5. We can adjust it however we want. Okay, so now that we have our panels here, okay, what we are going to do is we are going to first pick out all the curves on it, all the curves. Okay, just like this should go in, this should go here. Yeah, okay. Now what we will do is we will try to extract the lines, this lines from the panel. So what we will do is we will do a deconstruct ds, from ds. Okay, connect the panel to the ds. Okay, and in the edges we want to list item. Okay, and yes, that's what we want. Okay, all our curves are there. Okay. Try to flatten it down. Okay, and then we will do a join curve, use the join curve component. Okay, so all the curves are here. Hide this component, I will hide this component. Okay, and then what we need to draw the line. Now what we want is to randomly select, use a random split component here, select it. Okay, and so the split is right now 0.5, which means it is going to be 50% in list A and 50% in list B. What I want to do is reduce it to 60 or 30, 60 or 30-70. Okay, I will do a 0.3 split where list A has more number, so 70% is in list A and the other 30% is in list B. Okay, you can randomly say where it goes. Okay, so now I will attach a surface component container in list A, and we'll hide this. We'll hide this initial one. Okay, and we can still say maybe we can do it 60-40. Okay, now again out of the same surfaces which have come out, okay, we'll do the same thing again. Okay, in surfaces connect this to master A, master list. Okay, and at this time I'm going to do a 0.5. Okay, and then do a random. So now what we have here is, so since we have two different colors here, light brown and dark brown, this is what we have done here. So randomly taking a few in dark brown and few in light brown. Since it's 50-50, so the numbers are same. Okay, we will just adjust it randomly. Okay, now our major components are ready. What we will do is just give offsets and other stuff to make it look pretty. Okay, so we will use an offset surface component from the Pufferfish. Okay, and we connect list A surfaces to offset. Okay, set a distance of maybe 0.2 and 0.2 meters, which is like, okay, this is deep, so 0.1. Okay, let's do a 0.05, so it's like 5 centimeters out. Okay, and I will connect the same to the both sides of the offset surface, And then here what I will do is right click, say expression and minus x. So what we will do, this will do is convert the whatever number you are giving into a negative one. So this is how you use this component of offset surface. Okay, so now you see it's offsetted both sides from the center line. Okay, the same thing we will do with the other one. Okay, before doing this, since we are going, this is our support member, it has thickness, so what we are going to do is we will be scaling the geometries down. So before doing this, what I will do is I'll get an area out of the surface component, use a scale component. Okay, so the geometry is the surface, center is the center of the surface. Okay, and I will be scaling it down by 0.95. Okay, maybe 0.9 to 90. Okay, by 10% I will be scaling it down. Okay, now I will connect this geometry to the offset surface. So as you can see, now there is a gap. I will just hide everything else. Okay, do the same thing for this one as well. Okay, and connect this one to the surface. Yes, this is ready, and now we have the last thing which we are going to do is create a pipeline. Create a pipe on the support members. So and give it a radius of 1025 radius for I think yes, this works. Okay, maybe this should have been 0.3. Okay, now I will start baking everything. Okay, I'm going to do a copy of this pipe component. Okay, and attach it to our original geometries one, and this is another one. So yes, so these geometries can be of a higher value of maybe 0.1. Okay, since everything is going to be attached on that, so this I will create a higher value. Okay, I will attach the same number with this. Okay, so these are all our baking points. So this we have to bake, this we have to bake. These are the things which we have to bake and to get it into Rhino and export it to the rendering tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just right click to tool and say right click and say bake layer 1 for one typology and click say group and say OK. Okay, again for the other one say bake, say layer 2 group yes and click OK. So now you can see there are two different groups. Say for pipe we are going to use layer 3, say yes OK, and same thing for layer 3 since it's common for everything. So pipe is a common material, and as it is a structural number, so I will be giving the same material to it. So yes, that's it. Now we will be, I will change this to shaded mode here. Okay, we will just apply materials to the layer. So layer 1 we will say red color, layer 2 we will say brown color, layer 3 we will say black color. Okay, so since we are using only 3 layers, I will be only using with that. Okay, and now I will just try to make some base things to export it for Lumion. I think we don't need to do anything else here. I'll just export it.
Thank you all for staying tuned and following along with this tutorial series. Your support and enthusiasm are truly appreciated. Thank you once again for joining me on this creative journey.